What's up, man?
Tyler, the Creator, has been no stranger to controversy throughout his career. He's regularly been dropping both kinds of F-bombs over the years, and he's built his entire musical persona on being provocative but entertaining. And let's keep it 100, he's also known for rapping his twisted, violent fantasies in his music. And when he first came out, many critics took issue with the violent and sexual content of his songs, and a lot of people labeled him as misogynistic. So these kind of attacks are nothing new, and essentially the papers that are printing these kind of stories attacking Tyler are just as thirsty and desperate for attention as he is for writing such provocative songs in the first place. But as we all know, nowadays with outrage culture, it's not just enough to turn the radio off when you hear something you don't like. So in 2013, a petition was launched aiming to cancel Tyler's booking at Festival of Music and annoying white girls with dreadlocks who seem to have a shower allergy, Glastonbury. They accused Tyler of normalizing and even glamorizing sexual violence in his lyrics. But on this occasion, common sense prevailed and Tyler managed to perform at Glastonbury without a hitch. But that wasn't the end of the controversy, and beyond Tyler the Creator's lyrics, in March 2014, he was arrested for inciting a riot at the South by Southwest Festival when he told fans to push past security guards to get into his show, an incident which he downplayed in an interview on HuffPo Live.
I was having a regular show, kids was outside, hey guys, come on in, I know you, I never come to Texas. A bunch of kids came in, no one got hurt. Like, no one got hurt.
No
everyone,
property.
I made sure everyone was chill, we good, everyone in, everyone's safe, yeah. 2 days later, and cops show up like, hey, come here, and put me in handcuffs, and I'm like oblivious to, like why am I?
So it's safe to say that Tyler the Creator is no stranger to ruffling a few feathers. But over in jolly old England, there was one teapot that Tyler was stirring that would prove to be disastrous for his British tour dates. On August the 26th, 2015, Tyler the Creator and his management announced that they'd received a letter from the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom, Theresa May, informing him that he was banned from the UK for a period of 3 to 5 years. The letter said, "Coming to the UK is a privilege, and we expect those who come here to respect our shared values. The Home Secretary has the power to exclude an individual if she considers that his or her presence in the UK is not conducive to the public good, or if their exclusion is justified on public policy grounds." That's right, British Tyler fans, your worst fear came true. It was Texit. Theresa May supposedly cited lyrics from Tyler's early album Bastard as part of the reason for his ban, saying that it encouraged violence and intolerance of homosexuality and fosters hatred with views that seek to provoke terrorist acts. Well, that's this video demonetized. But in retrospect, it's actually pretty ironic to claim Tyler's intolerance of homosexuality as a reason to ban him from the UK, when we discover years later that Tyler had a pretty ambiguous sexual orientation throughout his career, seemingly having attempted to slyly come out of the closet several times in songs and interviews, but with fans and media outlets unable to decide whether or not he was trolling or genuinely admitting his sexual orientation. And that's all well and good with hindsight, but even then, at the time, none of this seemed to add up, considering Tyler had seemingly slipped under the radar and performed in the UK dozens of times before this ban. I can only assume that he slipped in those times using this cunning disguise. But regardless, silly mustache wasn't going to cut it against Theresa May's hardened border force. You think you could make it past this guy? Hell no! And as a result, Tyler the Creator had to cancel his scheduled appearances at Reading and Leeds festivals. And so stinky teenage boys attending that festival would just have to be content with the leftover headliners Mumford & Sons, Metallica, and the Libertines. Jesus, I don't think there's enough Tuborg and cheap MDMA in the whole world to enjoy that shite. Texit was frankly a move that split the nation and stirred up deep divisions between the smelly white teenage hipsters of the British suburbs and the boring middle-aged parents of smelly white teenage hipsters in the British suburbs. But this wasn't the first Texit. This had actually happened previously after Tyler the Creator had gone on an enormous onstage rant in Australia about a feminist blogger from the women's campaigning group Collective Shout. This blogger had been calling for a ban of Tyler from the country, but fortunately she was in the audience when Tyler went on this rant, and apparently she was so shocked and offended by this that she recorded it and uploaded it to YouTube.
Bitch, I hope she hear me call her a bitch too, fucking whore. Clear like my sold out show right now, bitch. Hey, this fucking song is dedicated to you, you
She'd actually attended the gig in order to gather evidence for misogynistic behaviour as part of an ongoing campaign supporting Texit and attempting to get Tyler the Creator banned from the country. But to be fair, if you're looking to collect evidence of misogynistic behaviour, pretty much any rap concert in history will do the trick. But they succeeded in bringing about Texit too. Tyler was denied an Australian visa and he cancelled his Australian tour. Seeing the success of Collective Shout's campaign to get free clout tokens by banning an artist whose work they don't like, New Zealand decided to follow suit as well and import some clout of their own. banning Tyler the Creator from coming into the country, citing a potential threat to public order on the basis of his South by Southwest riot incident. So in the midst of that, all of that Tyler hate culminated. And so it was all of that that led up to fellow member of the coalition of English-speaking nations with funny accents, the UK, and our flagging leader Theresa May, who saw an opportunity to raise her poorly performing profile and bring Texit to the UK once and for all. At the time of Texit, David Cameron was the British Prime Minister and Theresa May was the Home Secretary. A very important role with duties overseeing all of the internal affairs for England and Wales, including policing and national security. Though judging by her outfits, I can assume that she wasn't in charge of the fashion police. Looks like that blazer she was wearing was barely able to secure her own border. But in a shock move, the day after Texit was announced, David Cameron announced his resignation as British Prime Minister because it turned out he was a massive Odd Future fan.
I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
This left a power vacuum that allowed Theresa May to swoop in and take charge, made possible by the fact that Queen Elizabeth was a huge Chris Brown fan and had taken his side in the Frank Ocean beef. Theresa May was swiftly sworn in, wearing a humongous chain that I assume she copped from Ben Baller.
I have just been to Buckingham Palace, where Her Majesty the Queen has asked me to form a new government, and I accepted.
Many people were worried about the unintended effects of the sudden withdrawal of Tyler the Creator's music from the UK. Few people had really thought about the possible consequences of a hard Texit, and many hype beasts feared enormous queues for basic amenities. But it didn't take long for factions to form. A ragtag militia of Odd Future fans rallied against Texit and waged the biggest counterinsurgency campaign against Theresa May's Tyler-hating government that we had ever seen. They called themselves the Internet Rappers Association, or IRA for short, and it quickly emerged that the leader of the opposition in Parliament, Jeremy Corbyn, himself had links to the IRA. And so immediately the campaign to stop Texit and take out Theresa May started once and for all. First off, they launched a biochemical attack against Theresa May while she was speaking at a conference, poisoning her cough drops. And after that didn't work, in the same speech, a sniper decided to take a shot at Theresa May, but unfortunately the sniper was distracted by the sudden release of Tyler's new album Flower Boy, missing the target and taking out a straight F in the crossfire. After these failed attempts, things got out of control, and it was at that point that the UK knew there was only one man that could save Britain from Texit. Me! After an impassioned speech turned freestyle diss track in Parliament calling out Theresa May's government as his ops, Traplaw Ross was drafted in to be a negotiator at number 10 Downing Street. And after hours of discussion and some damning evidence that was presented of Theresa May candidly videoed dancing to a Tyler the Creator song, to the delight of crooked teeth Tyler the Creator fans all over the UK, she was considered compromised and forced to stand down, making a final address on the steps of number 10 Downing Street, alongside Woody Allen, who had written the jokes for her speech, and wearing another fire Johnny Dang chain seemingly inspired by anal beads. Okay, none of that happened, but it might as well have. The truth is, pretty much nothing happened until May 2019, when Theresa May did resign, not over Tyler the Creator, but just because she was an incompetent embarrassment of a Prime Minister. When she left, his ban was miraculously lifted, and Tyler rejoiced at being allowed to return to the UK. But it wasn't all clear sailing from there. When he arrived in the UK for the first time since Texit, he announced an impromptu gig in social media posts from outside Buckingham Palace like some kind of pink-suited Morrison. This was followed by a bizarre clip of him shadowboxing and channeling his inner British Rocky, and it was soon announced that a surprise Tyler the Creator show will be taking place at Peckham Music Venue and the place where you're least likely to find Traplaw Ross on a Friday night, Bussey Building. Or if you're not familiar with South London clubbing culture, a warehouse full of gurning troglodytes who just can't wait to tell you about their zero-carbon bracelet startup. But since my own hatred of going out clubbing in London was clashing with my love of Tyler the Creator's music, being a South London driller myself, I almost zone two-stepped my way over there. But in the end, I'm glad I didn't, as the scenes from outside looked a lot more like Migrant Crisis than Mosh Pit. And unfortunately, by 3:30, Tyler tweeted to announce that the event had been cancelled due to gate climbing. And thus it wouldn't be until September 2019 that Tyler the Creator would actually grace the UK stages once again, selling out the O2 Academy and finally putting the boot in, leading the crowd in a chant of "Fuck Theresa May."
Hey, listen, I feel you, but like, she's gone. I'm right here in front of you. That's fully a thing of the past. Don't be one of those people that dwell on the past. You'll get stuck in life, okay? I'm right here in the fucking flesh now.
This was a proud moment for any British fan that suffered through Texit and didn't get a chance to listen to Tyler the Creator's music for all those years. And anyone that's been in the UK for the past 3 years will know just how hard it is to tell whether or not that footage is from Tyler's show or the Houses of Parliament.
We will be able to
at 11 p.m. on the 31st of May.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure that you like and subscribe below. If you want to support the channel even more, head over to traplaw.com where you can go and cop some of this fire Trap Law merch. Appreciate everybody that's been supporting so far, liking, subscribing, copying merch, sending DMs, following me on Instagram. Thank you so much. You guys mean the world to me. I appreciate it a lot, and a lot more videos coming soon. Until next time, a peace out.